Hello, I'm Teacher Victoria with and for Lead from Home, a great spot for anybody that's looking to increase their access and visibility to their consumer in the online ESL platform or online teaching platform. Today's video is all about extensions. An extension is a little bit more than spending time talking and conversing, although conversational skill practice is an essential part of the language learning process because you are practicing those conversational, more natural responses. An extension refers to the enrichment, going a step further about a subject. So enhancement, going into greater detail. We use extensions throughout our lessons without realizing that we are doing something to strengthen the skill in the learner. Most of the time, this is the natural progression. Once the student has learned the basics for practicing a skill, we want to elevate it. We want to make sure that the student has comprehension of the subject, is able to use maybe vocabulary flexibly. There are different ways that we measure progress in the ESL platform. One of my favorite things is reading. And as you can see with my background, I love books. I love to be surrounded by books, book themes. So naturally, if I'm attracted to books, I'm also attracted to words. These skills separately work on phonics development, pronunciation, spelling. They're all linked together. Depending on what you target, and these can be highly individualized or custom to fit or suit the needs of the lesson, the classroom, but more importantly, the student. When we individualize care and target these skills that can foster the student's development, it not only helps build the student's confidence or the language skill itself, it also connects or establishes a deeper connection with the student. Of course, I always mention this in every video, is that we are part of the progress, part of the journey. And when you help the student learn these basic skills and celebrate their confidence and successes through gameplay, wordplay, then this is just going to make that relationship with your student and the family all the more marketable. This is something that I used to do a lot of for grounding techniques in behavioral health. One of the things that we would do is say, okay, let's find something that you can hear, one thing that you can hear, three things that you can see. So you're bringing their awareness to their environment. So here's the way that we would apply this grounding technique to our language learning. One, of course, our focus is more on item identification or word association and in creating a context for the vocabulary, for example. For the basis of this, we can say we're teaching the concept of 5 senses, for example. Let them know, okay, I'm looking for something that you can see. Let's find 2 things that you can see that start with the letter A. Start with the letter sound, or maybe you want them to do this. For example, you can tell them, let's play this game with the letter B. Post a B in your classroom. I use a virtual platform, so I automatically pop my digital B on the wall and let them know, okay, here's B. What do you see that starts with the letter B? I like these kinds of activities because it's interactive. The student is actively looking around, they're processing the information, and of course you can scale this up or down, and you can help the student as much as possible. When introducing a new game or kind of activity, I always model a few times and work with the student, guide them along so that they build the confidence and, more importantly, understand the expectation and that it's not something that has negative consequences if they don't get it right. For example, let's play the game. Can you see something that has the letter B? Usually I hold up something with the letter B close to me. That way I'm giving them a visual cue. And then if I need to give a little bit more encouragement, I might say b, b, b. Make noise with it, and hopefully you get the answer. Again, I use more different types of visual cues, so I will probably type the word out or have a flashcard or something else to show the written equivalent of whatever it is. I love the chat box in the VIPKid platform just for this, because I can reference it in my notes, and I can also inform the parent, hey, take a look at the work that we did today, or share with the student, look at all these great things that we found that all start with the letter B. The next thing I would say for the same activity is, can you find something that you can hear with the letter B? We're looking for an object. You can use common nouns or proper nouns. I always focus on common nouns because we're working on vocabulary development, and I would introduce the new word. Ball is pretty much fundamental for vocabulary, but maybe bounce isn't. So I would introduce that concept. Again, vocabulary building and sentence structures, I would always give a little bit of a sentence to use the word. Now, for older learners or learners that have a little bit more confidence with the language, you might get some creative things like, oh, I see a brown bear, and they can use the double. Well, I would, if you're doing a point system, I would praise them for that, especially since they're using alliteration. I love alliteration, yay! But always celebrate whatever it is, wherever they're at, so that you can show the growth, the progress over time. That moves us to taste. What can you taste? Again, I would go to the visuals, and I would probably show a strawberry or other pictures of fruit and say, what can we taste? And encourage just the visuals that, oh, these are all berries, grouping. Again, celebrating the idea that no one answer is okay. Yes, there are some right or wrong answers with this, but when introducing the extension exercises, we do want to get creative with our responses. Again, this is vocabulary development and practice with alliteration, which is our phonics sound. And the next one, again, is my favorite. It's touch. I always have a few stuffed toys nearby. And I always have something, if I'm talking about something brown, if I'm talking about something soft, I can use the same toy or prop to encourage conversational skill. Our learners are using different processes, and we want to promote that. So, of course, they don't have to be pretty. They just have to have the shape that they can relate to. What can you feel that begins with a B? What can you feel? Of course, they're going to say, oh, it's a brown bear, teacher. Yes, it is a brown bear. How does it feel? Soft? Of course, yeah. You can also hold up maybe a block if you have blocks. I actually don't have blocks, but hold up a block or a picture of a block and ask them, how does this feel? And of course, it should sound a little more hard, and you can tell them. You're developing on the word and then the texture. Now, the last one in this extension activity is smell. Of course, if we're doing the 5 senses, this might be a bit of a challenge, but again, why not encourage them to go beyond the classroom? These are extensions, so these are for maybe your fast finishers that really could use a different approach to learning the same skill. Again, our target letter is B. What can you smell? Here's your visual. Pretend to do it. Model. Bananas have a distinct smell and color and shape. So I would prompt with the prop, encourage the student. How do these smell? Bananas do smell sweet. Does a banana smell like? Introducing the concept or the exercise. Okay, let's play seek and find. Today we are going to practice with our letter B. What can we see? That's banana, bear. Set the timer for added fun and excitement. It's only for learners that are okay with the timer. Some students may not be, again, feel it out, individualize, and along the way that you will be there in their journey, and their confidence will definitely grow, especially if they beat the teacher to finding out something that is brown or something that begins with a B that they can hear. One of the activities that we use within the classroom, and this may be for level 3s or higher, I love this game because you can modify this Let's talk about word building using one letter to begin. Say, for example, we have the word back. Let's start with the word back because we are back to school. That's why I keep going back to B, but back. Introduce the word and say, okay, we're going to think of words that begin with the last letter of the word we just said. So our next word will be the K, a K word. Use a visual prop. Type the word kite or write it out with one of your whiteboard props. Encourage the student to go with the letter E. When I first introduce a concept or an activity, I don't put a timer unless it's a student that I know that can handle it. Later on, as they get used to this, tell them we're going for 10 in 30 seconds. Can we do it? Let's do it. And it is okay to get the 4-letter words, 5-letter words, the shorter words when doing this game so that they can develop the practice and the confidence. Later on, you can practice syllables or sounds and thematic words of something similar. One of the other favorite things that I have is word scrambles. Okay, so the game where you scramble up the word or try to find as many words with a set of words, like Scrabble. Give them a group of words, some vowels and consonants, and tell them how many words can we find that are in these letters, and walk the student through. Of course, you're going to model and you're going to guide them through the practice. Along the same lines, I would be specific. The clearer we are with our instructions, the higher the success of your student. Place one word plus a visual. This is where flashcards are really great in the classroom, or even your whiteboard, just writing out the word. For example, I would use the whiteboard, cupcake, spell it out, show, here's your visual. If you don't have a 3D prop, I got this at the dollar store. Geez, students always love that. And the fact that it's huge, you can use it in so many ways and students love it. So here we are with our whiteboard. Spell it out for them. Let them make sure that they understand the letter sounds and the letters in the pattern. Then I would just move it aside, make sure that they have a constant visual for it. This is why I am always a fan of the text box and the chat box, because I think that the learners, I'm a person who needs visual. I'm a tactile learner. I need full engagement. And this is why these extensions work. And I hope that they work for the students. Also establish great connections because you're helping them build confidence. How many words can we come up with in the word cupcake? Cup, up. I may not give them the word right away, but I would model up. Now, of course, if you're modeling a behavior using TPR, I would show them something simple, like a command that maybe they've seen me use in the classroom before. That way, the word association and visual connection are happening right away, and they get it. And of course, anytime that light goes off and that they understand it, that confidence and that connection, that it just builds that confidence. And to be a part of that as a guide, it's perfect. So again, I encourage you to use these extensions, modify them, and be consistent with your TPR so that they can be successful with you. Help guide them along, but always really leave the word guessing to them. You will be so impressed, or I was so impressed with how far the game can progress. This again can be done while you're in the process of learning a new concept, seeing that the student has picked up on the concept, but you want to practice words or phonics or something like that. These are all connected through language learning, spelling, pronunciation, and letter associations with sounds. Again, that's phonics, right? Now, these are just a few of the ones that I use in the classroom. You can always use role play and other guided practice activities that will enhance the lesson theme to make these games connect to the lesson that they are learning, because it helps strengthen the content. And of course, you're not going too far off on tangent, and everything can tie back to the skills that they are learning in the unit, the vocabulary building, the letters, or a grammar skill that you want them to learn. That can also be tied into the theme. Again, maybe you want to do action words or adjectives that have these patterns to them. I wish you the best of luck. Again, these are just 3 ideas that I use in the classroom with a few variations to help encourage individual plan development. I wish you the best of luck, happy teaching, and most of all, happy vibes and success in the classrooms for you and your language learner. Always on the journey to enhancing the lessons, enhancing that rapport. See you next time. Goodbye.